This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw. Join the conversation on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Phuket Live Radio.
Hello and welcome to the program. The Phuket News Hour. Today we look at the relationship between Laos and China. Possible questioning by the police with former Malaysian Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir. The French are lending the Cambodian people maps of the original colony so that they can resolve a border dispute with Vietnam. Indonesia's Foreign Minister meets with Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop. A Rohingya child poorly treated in a Myanmar hospital, and an uplifting story about a Javanese farmer in Indonesia who planted trees over the last 19 years to improve the water table. All this and more here on the Phuket News Hour, proudly brought to you by the Kids Club Phuket. All the stories making news. We'll cross to the Phuket News Centre for the local and national news and catch up with the BBC World headlines. Stay tuned. Live 89.5, the Phuket News Hour, where all the news that counts you'll hear today.
The news you need to know. This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw.
Some of the stories making news in the ASEAN region. The BBC is reporting that Malaysian police have said that they will ask former PM Mohammed Mahathir to give a statement on allegations he made at a recent anti-government protest. Dr. Mahathir's accusations of ruling parties leading accepting bribes warrant police action, a spokesperson said. Dr. Mahathir and the Bersih pro-democracy movement have called for current PM Najib Razak to resign over corruption allegations. Tens of thousands attended Bersih's weekend rallies across the country. A spokesperson for Dr. Mahathir, Sufi Yusof, told Reuters, quote, "As far as I am aware, he has not been approached by the police yet. He will comply with the police on whatever is needed." It is unclear whether Dr. Mahathir could face charges himself. That report from the BBC. Moving to Laos, the Vietnam Times is reporting that the leaders of Laos and China have vowed to deepen their relationships with the President Chumali Sayason, currently in Beijing for activities to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the Chinese people's victory in World War II. Receiving President Chomale was also Secretary General of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party in Beijing on August the 31st. President Xi, who was also General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, said China is willing to work with Laos to further move forward the all-round strategic partnership of cooperation, adding that the partnership features a high degree of mutual trust, mutual assistance and reciprocity. He called on both sides to boost cooperation in security, culture, tourism, education and youth exchanges. The long-term support for China in international and regional affairs, Mr. Xi said China's hopes both sides can continue cooperating through the United Nations, ASEAN and the Greater Mekong Sub-Region Economic Cooperation. That story from Vientiane Times. More ASEAN stories on the way. This is the Phuket News Hour here on Live 89.5, brought to you by the Kids Club Phuket.
Missed something? No problem. Listen to the Phuket News Hour any time of the day. Programs posted daily on the phuketnews.com/radio and on our Facebook page, Phuket Live Radio.
Moving to New York, the National Assembly Chairman of Vietnam, Nguyen Sinh Hung, held bilateral meetings with top legislators from China and Belarus, the President of the United Nations General Assembly and the IPU President in New York on the sidelines of the fourth conference of Speakers of Parliament. And during the meeting with his Chinese counterpart, Chairman Hung said that the Vietnamese National Assembly is keen to increase delegation exchanges with the Chinese National People's Congress, share professional experience and enhance coordination and mutual support at regional and international interparliamentary forums. By doing so, mutual understanding, trust and solidarity between the two legislative bodies will be strengthened, paving the way for growth of the Vietnam-China relationship. On the East Sea issue, the National Assembly chairman said that the two sides should abide by agreements and common perspectives of senior leaders of both countries on controlling maritime disputes, refraining from taking any action that complicates or expands disputes while working together to maintain peace and stability in the East Sea. This is a great role, the fact that the Vietnamese National Assembly chairman Nguyen Sinh Hung was in New York for the International World Conference of Speakers of Parliament. That story from the vietnamnews.vn. Still with Vietnam, the Cambodian Times is reporting That France is to lend maps to Cambodia amid a dispute over Vietnam borders. Chara Revitt with this report.
Former colonial ruler France has agreed to lend a set of maps to Cambodia following a request from the Prime Minister Hun Sen and amid a dispute over the demarcation of the Southeast Asian nation's border with neighbouring Vietnam, officials said Tuesday. France will hand over the maps produced by its National Geographic Institute prior to Cambodian independence in 1953 in a ceremony on Thursday. Chairman of Cambodia's Border Committee, Va Kim Hong, told a press conference in Phnom Penh, citing a letter from the French President, François Hollande. The French maps will then be used to verify the 26 maps currently used by Hun Sen's government. The opposition Cambodia National Rescue Party alleges that Hun Sen's government has ceded land to Vietnam based on its own set of incorrect charts, which adhere to 1985 agreement signed by the two countries during Vietnam's occupation of Cambodia.
Chara Revitt with that report. More news on the way here on the Phuket News Hour.
Your daily news fix, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Only on Live 89.5.
The Phuket News Hour proudly sponsored by the Kids Club Phuket. Now, exciting things happening this Sunday at 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock at the Kids Club Phuket. It's opposite Jung Salong. It's called the Day of Knowledge. This is a great chance for you to get together and enjoy some fantastic groups of people offering wonderful things for your children. There'll be representatives on hand from Jube Jube, Indigo Kids International Preschool, Oasis Ed Phuket, Kids Planet and Happy Baby. Great entertainment for the kids, performances by dancers and acrobats, entry charges of 350 baht per child, 100 baht for adults, and that'll entitle you to a day entry ticket to the Kids Club plus all entertainment. Come along, enjoy the fun, get there early. It's going to be a fun-filled day for all of the family at the Kids Club Phuket. Opposite Jung Salong, underground parking available, open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. A great place for you and the family and the kids to have the best fun. The Kids Club Phuket, proud sponsors of the Phuket News Hour.
The stuff you need to know. 60 minutes of news on the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw.
Moving to Myanmar, the Burma Times is reporting a very concerning story. It involves allegations of a young child, an infant child, not being treated properly by a local hospital. The Burma Times correspondent writes that an infant child is in incredible pain and trauma after a state hospital in Akyab turned him away. The child, 2.5-year-old Harun-ur-Rashid, has been suffering from pains in the urinary tract area for the last few days. When he was taken to a local clinic, a doctor told his father that the child must be taken to hospital. When the father said hospital staff often mistreat Muslim patients, the doctor said he will take them personally. Now, under intervention from NGO officials, the Akyab hospital agreed to treat the Rohingya child, but he was discharged only a day later. On Tuesday, once again, he began to cry incessantly and had to be rushed back to hospital. As he arrived at the hospital, allegations say that the staff cursed the Rohingyas in foul language and told them this hospital was not for, quote, treating the colours. They were chased away and threatened with severe consequences if they dared to come back. The young child Harun is currently in a critical condition. Locals in Chakripara say it's a heart-wrenching story to listen to the constant cries of the infant child. They also allege the doctors in the state hospital did not give him proper treatment when he was under their care. That story in the burmatimes.net is indicative of the concern that many people, particularly those in human rights organisations, are concerned about the mistreatment of any group anywhere in the world. The question is who and when, particularly from medical aid organisations, may, as part of services being rendered in international areas, may be able to provide more observance of this allegation of mistreatment. That story, theburmatimes.net. A great story from the Jakarta Post. A man has spent 19 years planting trees to save his village from drought. The 65-year-old man from Wonogiri Regency, Central Java, has managed to turn his drought-prone village into a groundwater-rich region by leading a campaign to replant trees on a nearby hill for the last 19 years. Since 1996, Sadaman, a farmer in Dali Hamlet, has been encouraging local restaurants to plant more trees on Gendol Hill in an attempt to curb a severe water crisis that used to regularly hit the village, especially during the dry season. Now, situated on the southeastern slope of Mount Lawu, which is located on the border area of Central and East Java provinces, the hill was severely deforested because of extensive logging activities and a series of forest fires that took place in the 1960s and 1980s. Speaking to the Jakarta Post over the weekend, farmer Sadaman said he first came up with the idea to revitalise the hill when he was tapping rubber from rubber trees on the hill to make ends meet. Quote, I found out that many rubber trees no longer produce rubber latex. Then I realised that the water crisis was too extreme. Even the tree trunks had dried up. Feeling encouraged to save his village from the prolonged water crisis, the father of two then used his own money to buy tree seedlings and single-handedly planted them on every part of the hill. Among the trees he has grown are banyan and lam toro trees. What a great story from the Jakarta Post here on the Phuket News Hour.
Today's important stories and the island's best music. This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw.
That is the program for today. Thank you for your company here on the Phuket News Hour. This program produced and presented by Tim Shaw, associate producer Chara Revit. Using the resources of the World Wide Web, the Bangkok Post, CNN, the BBC, and ASEAN newspapers around the region. Don't forget, you can catch the podcast program on PhuketLiveRadio.com. You can also listen to the highlights the following morning, 6 a.m, Tuesday through Saturday. Don't forget, 11 a.m, Monday to Friday, here on Live 89.5, the Phuket News Hour, where you get the news that counts. Have a great remainder of the day, and we look forward to your company again. The Phuket News Hour, proudly brought to you by the Kids Club Phuket.
This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw. Join the conversation on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Phuket Live Radio.